paunlarin, iibayuhin ang agrikultura ng bansa sa makabagong panahon. Ibabaling ang pansin, agrikultura'y palalakasin. Konsolidasyon, modernisasyon, industrialisasyon, profesionalisasyon. Bagong pananaw sa nagbabagong panahon. Pag-iisahin, magsasaka at mangingisda, pamahalaang lokal, pribadong sektor, mga dalubhasa at kagawaran ng pagsasaka. Paaangatin ang produksyon ng tuloy-tuloy ang kita at ani.
Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Ako po si Noel Reyes, Assistant Secretary for Strategic Communications at Spokesperson po ng Department of Agriculture. Ito po na po ang ating 192nd virtual presser ng IATF Task Group on Food Security. Yan po. Welcome po sa ating mga nanonood, nakikinig sa buong bansa at siyempre po sa buong mundo. The task group is composed of 23 government agencies and is headed by the Department of Agriculture under the leadership of our Agriculture Secretary William Manong Willie Dar. It formulates and implements action related to the following 9 basic major concerns. No? Number 1, food resiliency, energy, food value chain and logistics, water, agribusiness, food procurement and distribution, economic intelligence, agriculture and fisheries, and lastly, strategic communications. Ito po, with only 51 days, ito po katapusan ng June 30, ito 12 noon po, matatapos na po ang termino ng ating Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte at kami po sa Department of Agriculture. Pero po, tuloy-tuloy po ang trabaho dito po sa Department of Agriculture at di lamang po sa iba pang ahensya ng ating pamahalaan. At ito po, kasama natin walang iba, kundi ang ating servant leader, si Secretary William Manong Willie Dar. Secretary, magandang hapon po.
Magandang hapon po, Sir Noel, at saka lahat po na nakikinig at those who are following this presser on food security. Magandang hapon po.
Magandang hapon po. Naimbag nga malamyo amin sa ating po mga taga Ilocanja at sa buong, siyempre po, buong Pilipinas. So, nearing end na po tayo. Kumbaga, last quarter. Kumbaga sa basketball, ano pa hong dapat natin gawin?
Last 2 minutes po na ito, Sir Noel. We have 51 days to go.
Yes.
Pero yung ating gusto mangyari ay walang tigil pa rin ang ating pagsisilbi sa ating mga magsasaka at mangingisda. the same passion and energy until the last hour.
Yan po. Pero despite na po, more than 2 years and a half na po si Secretary William Darras dito sa pamumuno. Pero ano po ang legacy, anong bibitawan natin at ibibigay, ihahatag sa ating susunod na presidente at syempre po kung sinong ma-appoint niyang Secretary of Agriculture.
Alam ninyo, Asag Noel, nung umpisa tayo dito, 2019 August, we brought this new thinking in Philippine agriculture, which was our guide until we evolved into the 1DA reform agenda,
Tama.
which has 4 pillars, including farm consolidation, modernization, industrialization, and professionalization, with 18 key strategies.
Opo.
So ito ngayon ang ating plataforma na pag-implement dito sa mga iba't ibang banner programs and the various institutions and bureaus attached agencies under the Department of Agriculture, 1DA reform agenda. Then let me mention last week we were in Davao. The management committee of the Department of Agriculture had a meeting, and it was there that we launched the National Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization and Industrialization Plan.
Yan po ay NAFMIP,
NAFMIP.
NAFMIP.
Ito, Asek Noel, ito ay strategic plan for the next 10 years.
Opo.
So, very solid foundation of the directions, the various strategies with which we can unlock the potential of Philippine agriculture.
Yan po isa sa mga dokumentong ihahatag niyo sa susunod na secretary.
Tama po, yung sa transition po ay ito yung isang big attachment. We will summarize this, but there will be many other agenda items that will be presented during the transition for the incoming administration. And I would like to believe that very solid po yung transition report, hindi lang compendium ng iba't ibang issues, but properly written and articulated as to what are the pressing concerns or programs that need to be continued and to be strengthened as well.
Yes. Siguro po, unahin na natin yung accomplishments natin, Mr. Secretary. Yung po mga tungkol sa palay, sa corn, para sa mga ating masang nanonood, nakikinig, para maintindihan ano ba naihatid natin.
Ano po na-achieve natin as part of the legacies of the
Sige
Duterte
po,
administration.
isa-isahin natin.
Isa-isahin po natin. Let's start with rice. So, mayroon tayong rice tariffication law, which is a game player. I mean, game changer in the history of Philippine agriculture. This has brought about substantial budget for rice production in the country. Not only RCEP, which has 10 billion a year out of the tariff, and we also have any excess of the tariff ay binibigay natin na ayuda.
Apo.
And as a result of the Integrated National Rice Program, maganda po yung resulta.
Opo.
We had a record harvest in rice starting in 2021, 19.3 million metric tons. Last year, we have up it to 19.96 million metric
ganda
tons.
po. Sana po, walang bagyo ngayon para ma-reach na natin ng 20 million metric tons.
Kasama na yun sa lahat po na every year ay meron tayong at least 5 big typhoons. So we have to factor those in.
Yeah.
Now, itong 19.96 million metric tons has led us to 92% rice
na lang.
self-sufficiency.
8% na lang.
Kaya natin yan, basta maganda po ang irrigation systems development.
Nako, on irrigation.
In relation to that,
yes. Maraming
Tama-tama.
salamat, Mr.
Salamat
President.
po, mahal na
Mr. Pro.
Pangulo. Ang NIA po ay nilipat na ninyo sa oversight and supervision of the Department of Agriculture. This will complete lahat po ng ahensya na nandoon sa sektor ng agrikultura, tulong-tulong. There will be now more synergies between and among the 1DA family.
Welcome po kay Administrator Bisaya ng NIA.
Opo.
for the
Opo.
DA family. Yan.
So sa next Asek Noel, yung sa mais naman,
Yes,
corn,
kita natin.
record harvest din last year.
Mhm.
8.3 million metric tons we had produced last year. Ito ay pinakamataas na record sa corn production. But it's still a long way yet until we say we are near food sufficiency. I mean rice, corn
sufficiency.
sufficiency. We are just at the 60%
Okay,
level.
marami pa dapat bunuin, Mr.
Opo.
Secretary. At bakit corn? Kabit nito ang livestock and poultry.
Tama
Bakit
po,
mahalaga
kasi
po ang mais?
ang corn karamihan, yung yellow corn ay para sa feed sa livestock and poultry.
Patuka, feed.
So, integrated dapat ang pananaw natin dyan. Kasi malaking livestock and poultry industry natin. More than 33% na gross value added in agriculture. Ang pwede natin masabi sa poultry ay nakaangat na, umaangat na kasi nakaka-recover na as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic lockdowns. Dito rin sa hog industry, Noel, ay
may good news kayo, Secretary.
yes, bago yun, good news, tumataas na yung inventaryo natin. Last year, tumaas ng additionally 800,000. This year, it should be more. And the good news referred to by Asek Noel, itong African swine fever ay mayroon na tayong tinetesting na bakuna dito sa ating bansa, galing sa ibang bansa ito. At ang ganda po yung report initial testing ay very effective itong bakuna na ito. So nasa second phase na tayo ng testing. China-challenge na yung bakuna, dapat meron ng African swine fever doon na presente. At ito yung obserbahan this next 2 months.
Yan.
So, with all the indications, this is the first time in the world now na mayroon tayong masasabi na at the end of the tunnel, mayroon light, and that light is this vaccine against African swine fever.
Another bright spot, Mr. Secretary, yung export natin sa high-value crops po.
Opo,
yan talagang
high-value
dapat
crops,
nating pagtunuan din.
we sustain the gains we have achieved. Nandyan ang coconut oil, nandyan ang banana, nandyan pineapple, nandyan ang manga. Talagang dumadami po.
But recently, okra, we're
Okra,
exporting.
tama po. At na-maintain po natin yung second spot ng Pilipinas sa pag-export ng banana.
Going to exports, Mr. Secretary, coconut, yan, number 1 na rin.
Yes.
At madadagdagan pa ng pondo ang coconut. So
Tama,
again,
with Republic Act 11.524, ito yung
coconut farmers.
Coconut Farmers and Industry Trust Fund ay magagamit na.
Exciting po ang coconut industry ngayon
Tama
taon and
po,
succeeding
at
years.
hinihintay na lang yung aproba ng ating Pangulo, yung Coconut Farmers and Industry Development Plan.
Yes.
I think anytime now, the President will now approve para lahat na yung components under that Republic Act 11.524 ay mai-implement na.
At mabigay yung pondo nga po, ma-unlock na, yan, magamit
Tama
na.
po, one good thing is that all the coconut farmers have now been registered dito po sa RSBSA, and also 3 farmer representatives have been identified as now members of the PCA board.
Another sector na talagang dapat buhayin, or hindi naman, buhay naman siya, kaya paangatin pa, yung isda.
Yung isda, fishery, alam ninyo, ang pinaka-group, area din sa fisheries na may malaking potential ay doon sa aquaculture.
Yes.
Habang tayo ay nagbibigay din ng mga fiberglass reinforced plastic boats, 32,000 na yung napamigay natin to almost 45,000 fisher folk and 447 groups. So marami na rin fish landing centers, community fish landing centers. We established 729 of them. And we have constructed and rehabilitated 69 fish ports and post-harvest facilities. So,
marami pa po yan, Mr. Secretary. Yun. Siguro yung second portion natin ng ang legacy ni President Duterte, ito, meron po tayo dyan sa kadiwa, marketing,
Tama po.
infrastructure, logistics,
Urban
ayan.
agriculture,
And the youth, yan
the
po.
credit program, and
Yes,
the
yan po.
youth program that have been institutionalized. We have now to engage the youth dito po sa agrikultura, sa pagnanegosyo, kasi sila yung kinabukasan natin.
Yes, yan po. Napakahalaga po na yan. At Mr. Secretary, siguro pwede nating pagmayabang yung pinuntahan niyo sa Nueva Ecija nitong nakaraang linggo.
Tama
Digital
po.
and Golden Rice.
Tama
Kindly,
po, doon sa ating biyahe sa Muñoz, Nueva Ecija ay we distributed yung seeds ng golden rice.
Rice.
Itong golden rice po ay rich in vitamin A and it will be converted into beta-carotene. So it's really a health and wellness
Yeah.
rice, which will be
Yeah.
very important to not only the children, the mothers, but even any wellness and health-loving Filipinos. Gustong-gusto nila
yan
itong
po.
golden rice.
At hindi lamang ang maganda po nito mga kaibigan, ay ito po kauna-unahan sa buong mundo dito tayo sa Golden Rice. In fact, ibang countries sa Bangladesh gusto nang manghiram sila sa atin, Mr. Secretary, di po ba?
Tama po. So ito, Pilipinas ay leading the way in terms of development and commercialization of golden rice. This is one legacy that we can say be very important in terms of, again, ensuring food and nutrition security in the country.
Yan po ang galing po si Secretary doon sa PhilRice kung saan ay nandun ang Muñoz. At syempre, andun din po yung mahalagang partner natin doon, ang Central State University.
Yes.
Central Luzon State
Another
University.
important project na ginawa po natin sa CLSU, this is in relation to precision agriculture
Yes,
and digital agriculture
Yan po.
together. So alam naman ninyo, under Bayanihan 2, namigay po tayo sa CLSU ng project costing 50 million to set up itong Precision and Digital Agriculture Center. PRRDIC, yun ang po acronym niya.
Yes.
At ang CLSU talaga naman, ang galing po nila. They have a solid experience in starting precision agriculture, and they are now enhancing. And I have challenged them with the presence of our national research institutes there. Nandun ang PhilRice, nandun ang Carabao Center, nandun ang PhilMec, nandun ang BIPAR, and PhilSCAT. They have to be in a consortium in regard to what are the research areas or priorities vis-a-vis precision and digital agriculture.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Ay, segue na po yun. Yun po mismo ang mga katanungan ng ating mga media persons dito ngayon. So, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, ay bigyan nating daan ang kanilang mga katanungan kay Secretary Manong Wildar. So, ito na. We would like to get your comment, Secretary, on a BBM presidency. Yan.
Well, the count is not yet over, but indications are that BBM presidency is in the offing. We would like to congratulate the 17th President-elect of the Republic of the Philippines. We must unite and support the presidency of Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr.
Yes. Will we see a sector gaining or achieving at least 100 billion peso budget a year under the BBM presidency?
Yes, I believe that the next administration will have that political will, that ability to give topmost priority or one of the topmost priority areas, that is the sector of agriculture, and budget for would be at the level of double the present budget or tripling the present budget of the Department of Agriculture.
Another question, Mr. Secretary, is if the goal of the BBM presidency or administration is to make rice prices between 20 to 30 pesos per kilo, would this lead to suffering? Kasi this will translate to a price of palay at 10 to 15. Possible po ba ito, Mr. Secretary?
I surmise that the 20 pesos per kilo is for palay, not for rice.
Okay.
So we have a present farm gate price of the palay, which is 19 pesos. So
buying-
increasing that to 20 pesos is very viable.
Okay, sige. Apart from crops, Mr. Secretary, what subsector are we expecting to contribute in the agriculture sector for the second quarter or first semester of the year?
So crops in general, which also dominate the sector, almost 55% is contributed by crops. Nandyan yung coconut oil, yung banana, yung mango, yung pineapple, cacao is coming, coffee. So malaki po yun. On top of this, you have fisheries, contributing 16% of the GBA in agriculture, and followed by poultry, for example.
Yes. So, yan po. Exciting po ang hog sector ngayon, no, with this development na nabanggit nyo sa vaccine. Ito pa po, tanong ni John Enriquez ng DCAS, ano naman po ang mga unfinished projects ng itong current administration which you will may bibigyan nyo at may pagpatuloy na susunod na administrasyon?
Tama po, mayroon tayong bagong mga programa. Nasabi na natin yung Kadiwa, yung urban and peri-urban agriculture, yung youth programs, women programs, the banner programs. These are all very important to, again, elevate the productivity of various commodity industries in agriculture. We have to believe that the 1DA reform agenda must be the continuing platform or framework. Now, graduating towards the National Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization and Industrialization Plan.
Okay.
So ito po, malaking solid foundation po ang iiwanan natin para sa ganon ay nandyan yung plano, yung roadmap na gabay ng incoming leaders.
Tanong naman po, Sir, ni Stephanie Sevillano ng Philippine News Agency, amid the continuing Ukraine-Russia crisis and increasing crude prices, what should be the next administration's first thing to do, no? Yung nasa list niya to ensure stability sa agri-sector?
Well, tamang-tama yung nasabi ko kanina na yung NAFMIP will be the anchor for any significant budgetary support. We need to have more support this time around para sa ganun maitaas po natin yung level ng production natin sa bansa. We need to continue to transform and make our farmers and fishers competitive. We need to continue to have bilateral discussions with countries producing most of these agri-inputs so that we can buy, the private sector will buy the necessary inputs that we need to prop up our various subsectors.
So meanwhile, Mr. Secretary, sinabi niyo pa, yung sa plant, yung balanced fertilization, siguro you may want to
Itong
explain.
plant program part 2, ito na yung pinaka-anchor ng, if you have to operationalize NAFMIP, ito na yung pwede natin masabi na operational framework. And plant program part 2 will handle the following, yung pamimigay ng fertilizer subsidies,
opo.
yung urban and peri-urban agriculture,
Okay.
yung livestock feed formulation,
Okay.
yung food food mobilization,
Yes.
and the supporting banner programs.
Okay.
So lahat po ito ay kailangan para matugunan po natin itong kinakailangan natin dito sa period that is coming and starting to happen, itong tinatawag natin na brewing food crisis.
Yan po.
Mayroon pong ito nakikita po natin as a result of all these developments happening in the world.
Yes. Yan po ang tanong ni Annabel Surara din po, no? So matatapos na daw po ang term ninyo. Annabel Surara ng DCEC. Since matatapos na po ang inyong termino, ano po ang pakiulit siguro yung legacy na iiwan ninyo?
Ang legacy po, ito na, yung 1DA reform agenda with 4 pillars, with 18 key key strategies. Sumunod na itong 10-year strategic plan called NAFMIP,
Mapo.
National Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization and
Industrialization.
Industrialization Plan.
Plan.
So these are very solid foundation to really unleash the potential of Philippine agriculture. And let me highlight one more thing. Dito po sa strategic plan, ang pinaka-overarching goal ay yung from food security, ensuring food security towards food sovereignty.
Okay.
Anong pagkakaiba itong
Sige.
dalawa?
Maganda po yan, Mr.
Okay,
Secretary. Linawin natin.
pwede
Ano
natin-
ang food security at ano naman ang food sovereignty?
Pwede natin umpisan yung even food self-sufficiency.
Opo.
At all costs, you need to produce anything, any food requirement of the country.
Pero kailangan ng budget yan. Malaki.
Dito sa country, malaking-malaki.
Okay.
But let me mention, not a single, even developed country pursues this goal of food self-sufficiency.
Okay.
Now, ensuring food security is the present overarching goal of the government, where you produce as much in commodities that we have the comparative advantage, and the rest you bring in the contribution coming from trade or market access. So you augment supply by buying commodities from the outside. So yun ang pinaka-characteristic ng food security. You produce lang yung kaya mong i-produce na may comparative advantage.
Ano naman po ang food sovereignty?
Food sovereignty is you have to harness this by during times of crisis like
Such
what
as
is
this.
evolving. Okay, so we need now to prepare ourselves towards that food sovereignty. You have the political will to bring to port as one of the topmost priorities, the sector of agriculture, and you need to have significant budget so that you can produce as much commodities or food in the country. And further, you are enhancing the competitiveness of our farmers and fishers. So lahat po na magagawa with more budgetary investments coming from government, and the needed investments as well from the private sector. So kailangan po natin ito during now, the incoming administration will hopefully consider this NAFMIP, the strategic plan for the next 10 years.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Mr. Secretary. At sa mga nagpadala po ng kanilang katanungan sa ating kaibigan sa media. So at this point, Mr. Secretary, closing message po, napakabilis ng ating 30 minutes.
Opo, again, let me encourage every Filipino na dapat makitulong. This is the time for all of us to be plantitas. We produce our own food so that there is food always in the home. That's faith. While we are helping our farmers and fishers do higher level of production, massive commercial production of the various commodity industries. We would like to enhance their capacities and also link them to markets. So we produce so much, at the same time, there is affordable prices of commodities in the market. So sana tuloy-tuloy po ang pagtulong ninyo sa sektor ng agrikultura. Bigyan natin ng mahalagang suporta, kagaya po itong being a priority concern of the government, much more the incoming government, and the budgetary support needed to prop up and elevate productivity of Philippine agriculture. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat din po, Mr. Secretary. Secretary William Manong Willie Dar. Ito po, napakahalaga po ng pagkain sa pagbibigay sa atin ng lakas, physical strength man yan, mental, lahat ng aspeto ng ating buhay, lalo na't patuloy po tayong maharap sa hamon ng dala ng COVID-19 pandemic at ito pong Russia-Ukraine crisis. Naway magkaisa po tayo sa pagtiyak na tuloy-tuloy ang supply, produksyon at paggalaw ng pagkain at food production inputs sa bawat sulok ng Pilipinas. Walang kulay, walang partido, iisang bansa po tayo. So, let us be one in ensuring that all Filipinos will have access to safe and quality food items at all times. Nagpapasalamat po tayo sa lahat ng ating frontliners, mga magsasaka at mangingisda, at iba pang food heroes, ang ating local government units, na katuwang po natin sa pagtiyak na may sapat, abot kaya, ligtas na pagkain para sa ating lahat. At iyan po, maraming salamat din po sa ating Radyo TV Malacanang, PTB4, PCOO, Radyo Pilipinas under the leadership of Secretary Martin Andanar. Salamat po sa pagkataong binibigay niyo sa amin dito sa DA at sa buong IATF Task Group on Food Security. Para po sa mas malawak na impormasyon tungkol sa Philippine Agriculture, bisitahin lamang po ang aming website, da.gov.ph. At i-like na rin po ang aming official Facebook page, Department of Agriculture Philippines. Ayan po. Maaari po kayo mag-tweet sa amin via our official Twitter account at Manong Willie. At para naman po sa mga muling mapapanood gusto mapanood ito, virtual presser at iba pang mga video tungkol sa agrikultura at pangisdaan, please visit and subscribe to our Ani at Kita YouTube channel of the Department of Agriculture. Hanggang sa susunod na virtual presser, ako po si Asek Noel Reyes, kasama si Secretary William Manong Willie Dar, at nagsasabing wishing you everyone a safe and healthy afternoon.
God bless us all.